Hey, it's Jen, and welcome to your energetic forecast for the week of September 5th to September 11th. Just want to give a heads up that there's a full moon this week on the 10th, which is Saturday. So if you are one of those people who enjoys doing the release and setting intention ceremonies, Saturday is a good day to write anything that you would like to release with the energy of the full moon and do a full moon ceremony on that day. All right. So let's get started. Our first card for this week is Two Worlds, and this is something that's been coming up a lot for me lately, and something that I am going to be teaching a lot more through the courses that I put out, through the content that I'm putting out on Instagram, and through my newsletter. So if you have any interest in any of those or this topic, feel free to look for more information there in those places. But this is the Two of Scrolls, and it speaks of two worlds. So I just want to call attention to the world inside this house and then the world outside. So I'm just going to pull closer so that you can see outside the window. So that is the two worlds. So there's your inner world and the outer world, okay? And what you want to keep in mind when it comes to two worlds. So for me, this card always speaks of understanding that absolutely everything is a spiritual experience. Everything is a spiritual experience. And everything is also a physical experience, because you, a spiritual being, have chose to incarnate in a physical human body. You are having both experiences at the same time. And it's only when you forget about one or the other that imbalances occur, and destructive behavior may come out of it, or like addictions or repetitive thoughts or any of the quote unquote negative aspects, the imbalanced aspects that can come out of doing one thing too much, comes from not understanding the balance between the two worlds. And so this week especially, you're being asked to really just draw your awareness to how to make everything that you're doing in the physical world a spiritual experience. So how can you understand the divinity of what you're doing in the moment that you're doing it in? So how do you make eating food a spiritual experience? How can you use gratitude and use your physical senses and put them together to create a spiritual experience out of a physical act? And that is going to roll right across literally every single thing that you're doing. So how can you make the act of work into a spiritual experience? How can you make the act of meditation into a spiritual experience? Meditation's already a spiritual experience, but how can you make meditation like combine the physical and the spiritual in everything that you're doing? So look at your family life, look at how you take care of yourself, look at your work life, look at the way that you love yourself and others. Look at your relationships. Look at your sexual life. Look at literally every aspect of your physical world that you can name, look at how to create a spiritual experience and bring those two things together instead of keeping them separate. Okay? And that is going to help you with the rest of what's coming this week. So we are in a spring. This card is cool because when it's upright, it's a spring, and when it's reversed, it's an autumn. So this one's like super straightforward. But right now we are looking at the card upright, which is the spring. So what that means is, as we've already stated with the energy of September, you're going to be starting something new. And that's what we do in spring. We plant seeds and think about what we want to create moving forward so that we can reap the benefits of that. So this may be the week that you're starting that new thing. Keep your eyes out for anything that is pulling you emotionally, that you are feeling especially drawn towards, because that is what's going to lead you to this new thing that you're learning. And just think about how, once you've identified that new thing that you're learning, that new thing that you are going to be practicing skills for, that you are going to be increasing your knowledge around, that you are going to be expanding into, really look and see how you want that thing to manifest. Once you know what it is, where would you like to end up with it? So what is your end game with that? And just understand that the seeds that you plant to reach that end game, like do like a backwards, I can't remember what they're called, but it's like you start at the end and then you move through all the steps that it takes to get there, and then you have your first step from the beginning. Do that, and that will help you understand what seeds you need to plant or where you need to put your focus to create what you want to create once you've identified that thing. So this is will, wisdom, and mind. And this is like the power trinity of all the things. So you have the passion that you need to come in here. You have the emotional aspect that's coming in here. And you have the strength and intelligence that's coming in there as well. And this is the... it's a Celtic symbol, and I'm not going to be able to remember what it's called right now. Maybe it'll come to me as I'm talking. But basically, you're trying to use all of those elements. So the fire and the passion, the tempering of like your emotions and the flow and water, and then the intelligence that comes in. And you are going to be experiencing like a very beautiful balance of the three, and it's going to come effortlessly. Like we are approaching this week, and all of the work that we're doing this week, you are approaching it from a very, very strong position, and from a very, very, like, you don't have to worry about, as long as you know where you're going and what seeds you're planting, and as long as you are moving through this week with the intention of trying to combine a spiritual and a physical experience together in everything that you do, you're going to make everything happen. You don't have to worry, like you're coming from an extremely strong position, and everything is balanced quite effortlessly. So your focus is now on just keeping your eyes open for how you can draw those two things together and create a spiritual experience from them, as well as what exactly it is that you're supposed to be learning for the month of September, because that's coming to you this week. I knew I was going to get this card, by the way. So this, when it's right side up, is the pinnacle. Like this is the finished product. Okay. This is where you want to end up. This is heaven. This is your, kingdom, like your majestic kingdom has been created, and then this is where you end up living at the end of all of the work that we're going to be doing in the month of September. But right now you're at the beginning of it, okay? So this is the concept which is coming to you. It is going to come to you what the concept is, but you need to understand that in undertaking the concept of what you want to create, which is this heavenly place that you want to live in, this is going to be the key. Understanding that everything that you do in the physical has a spiritual basis or can be a spiritual experience. And so I'll just give you an example from my own life, something that I've had a lot of trouble understanding for a really long time is the concept of money, which is a very, very physical concept. It's a very physical thing, how to make that into a spiritual experience. And for me, the big shift came from understanding that everything is energy and energy is spiritual. You can't touch energy. It's a spiritual experience. It's something that you feel, right? And so because I shifted my understanding to the fact that money is also energy, and with that energy, I can create energetic exchanges with other people that will allow me to put my spiritual purpose forth into the world. And these readings are a perfect example of it. I needed to give an energetic exchange of money to be able to buy these cards so that I could do these readings, to be able to buy the crystals that I use, to be able to buy all of my spiritual tools. You need the physical form of money, the energetic physical form of money to create this spiritual experience for you. And so that is the understanding that you are being asked to bring to this end game that you are trying to create. Look at what is coming through for you spiritually. Look at the way that you want to feel and how you want to fill whatever it is that you are learning or creating, how you want it to come from a very love-based spiritual perspective. And then look at how you need to move through the physical to do that. So you're taking this concept right now that's just an idea that's going to be coming to you this week, and you're going to understand how to create that in the physical world from its spiritual base, that the experience that you want to have. Okay. So this is 7th house, and it is a relationship, and it's right underneath the spring, which is planting seeds with the understanding, and this is where the relationship comes in. So this is, actually it's pretty entertaining if you look at this arm. He's got flowers in it, which mirrors the spring card. And then this card has the, this arm has this circular geometric design, which actually kind of mimics some of the geometric designs in here. And so with this, it's the two coming together to create something for you. So it's the idea, the intention, the planting of seeds that's coming together with the action steps that are going to help you create what you want to create in the physical with the end game in mind. And that is exactly what this card speaks to. And it's understanding the relationship is very symbiotic. So you aren't going to get to where you want to go if you don't know where that place is. And you can't plant the seeds that will get you there if you don't know what that end game is. Just like if you don't plant the seeds, you're never going to get to the end game. So if you don't do the things that you're required to right from the beginning, you're never going to achieve a goal. I can have a goal of saving $1 million, and for some reason money is coming up a lot. I don't know if I know that specifically relates to me, but some of you may also find that you're dealing with money mindset this week. But if you have a goal to save $1 million and you don't figure out how much you need to be putting away per week and have like an end game of how long that's going to take you and start planting the seeds from the beginning, you're never going to make it to $1 million. It's just going to be a wish that you had this one time to save $1 million. So keep in mind that you need both halves to create what you're trying to create here. And this just perfect. It's just a perfect mirror, all of these cards. But this is what I was talking about in this card here, is you're coming from a very, very strong position for whatever it is that's coming through this week, whatever it is that you're asking for, whatever it is that you decide you want to do and create, whatever it is that you're planting seeds for, like, you don't have to worry. It will happen. There is absolutely no doubt that it will happen. How long it's going to take is another story, but whether or not it will happen is no question. So keep that in mind as you're moving through this week. You're keeping your eyes out for that thing that you're feeling emotionally pulled towards to create, to learn, to deepen your knowledge of, and deepen your skills around. And you're looking to see how you can create this thing in the physical while making it simultaneously a spiritual experience every single step of the way. And guys, gratitude is the number one tool to use when you're trying to make something a spiritual experience. It's to be grateful for absolutely everything that you receive, because everything is either what you want or a learning tool designed to help you build the skill set that you need to be able to receive what you want. So gratitude is a huge key for everything this week. Keep that in mind. And anything that's getting in your way, don't forget that full moon on Saturday is a perfect time to do a releasing ceremony if that is your thing. Have a great week.